All right. I am recording conversation right now that I'm trying to figure out life regarding Life 11, and didn't get too far into it before I realized maybe I should document this for them. Now, not to say though, you guys can't see the YouTube videos that we post on Life 3, right? Okay. But you can make your own maybe. Do you have any kind of technology that you would record a video with like you do on Life 3? Now, understand, peoples, that Life 11, they don't have cell phones, but that's not because they're like previous to us, like how in the 80s and 90s we didn't have cell phones. More so, it's that they just have a different type of lifestyle. They're much more similar to Life 1, which you guys, you don't remember with memory, but you remember it with certain things like behaviors or tendencies, such as if you like hate technology, it's like a necessary evil, like you love it but you hate it kind of thing, or you hate cell phones because they just suck the way that they are. They're just fucking annoying and incompetent kind of shit. That's another example. But like if you really, really hate traffic and you really hate stupidity and you really, like just some things, it's kind of hard to explain, but there's just some things that would really key you into knowing that it's like kind of like a boomer mentality, but not that dramatic. Something like that. Okay. What else? So Life 11, we thought was actually more real than here, as in Life 3, because of stuff like that. And also because they have headsets, also because we assumed that because Angie was on this stuff that we had on the mothership as well, what that meant was that made her hey, by the way, you're not on it anymore. He is, right? Neither? Why? They're gonna know. How are they gonna know? They're gonna know. One of you two needs... I don't think there's anything wrong with it. He just wasn't remembering. But honestly, bro needs to be doing it, not you. You're too integrated. He's not enough. That's my opinion. Y'all can figure out your own lives, but that's my suggestion, is you don't do it anymore. He does it from now on. You go go into the building, they're not going to know because it's a mentality thing, Like, you're already really, really integrated. The thing is nothing changed with you on Earth. As far as I can tell, it just awakened you to the truth of things. And the only reason why I think they give you guys the port is so that you don't do what you guys did, which was basically Jimmy rig a fucking, IV. What happens if you take it? It's not like you can Google about it. Like, it's not like I can Google about it. So, hypothetically, if you take the fucking study medication orally, what would it do? Would it do it differently? You know what I mean? Like, it's not... Like, we have no idea what you're talking about. Alright, you guys don't have AI at all, do you? Okay. But you understand now, both of you, I mean, she already did. But you understand what the sun is, and that it's your life-giving force within this bardo. Your bardo. I say this, but yours. Because I'm in another one right now. I'm driving a car. How do you feel about that? You guys have a golf cart that you use for like most everything, right? You live walking distance from like a grocery store, right? You pretty much don't go do shit, right? You just like, well, okay, so you'll go do shit, but you don't like go. You don't have to, is what I'm saying. You don't need a car unless you're going somewhere, right? How does that work? Do you guys have like Uber, or what do you do? You just borrow somebody's car? Wow, you guys are nice there. What if you crash it? Do you guys have to have insurance? These are like the stupidest questions, right? Like, hey, so like, what is it? Well, like, why does this even matter? All right, I'm just wondering. Actually, no, you know what? It actually is good questions, because if another Bardo can fucking do it and it's fine, because you know what this reminds me of? Is those little communities. This is how it's set up, is from what I understand, is these little communities that are like, everything is within a certain radius, and it's meant to be to cut down. Oh, deer time. Oh dear. Oh my. Deer time. Dinner. Grimes Road again, huh? Interesting. Okay, coming back around. Literal. Listen, I hate when I get sidetracked like this. Because I don't remember what the fuck I was saying now. Back, it was before the deer. Oh yeah, they sent a deer distraction. Yeah, if other Bardos are templated, see, that's why you need your assist to be on it. If other Bardos are templated to be able to, run more efficiently, you can borrow shit from them and like, you're like, well, there's another one that does it like this and it works just fine there. Such as the communities. Would they say it's like Agenda 25 or some shit like that, or Project 25? I don't know. And that it has to do with what the fuck? Well, why am I hearing the term ethnic cleansing? The study? You think it has something to do with like a purifying of a race? What are you talking about? Okay, everybody in this study is white, she says. How do you know that? Because you can tell. So you're going around and you're kind of looking at people and you can tell who's on it because they have a port. Oh, okay. So you guys you're like not supposed to talk about it, but you can tell who has the port. Huh. Okay. And so far, she's noticed that nobody that is a minority has any ports or anything. So she's just like trying to figure out why that might be. Like, why might it only be white people on the study, as far as she can tell? Because they stagger them when they go in, but everybody who works there is white also. And they have people from the community work there, but are they from the community? Because she never sees them. Like, they don't go to the grocery store, they don't live in the neighborhoods. She's like, where are they working? Where are they staying? Or rather, where are they staying? Where do they go to the store? They probably stay there at that facility, yeah? When did they build that facility? You don't know? Okay. Can you find out? It's like, how do you guys Google shit? You know? Can you find out when that building was built? Who owns it? Who owns it? Okay, another thing to understand about Life 11 is people are different there. Like, we already established, which is pretty hysterical, that they have different music, and certain artists are still like big, but they have a different genre of music. So that's funny. Haha. But also, does that mean that somebody else might own it that we might not even know? Like, okay, you guys ever hear the story? Somebody would ask you, if you could go back in time and take out Hitler when he was a baby, would you do it? And a lot of people would be like, yeah, it's a baby though, you know? Well, here's the thing. What if in another Bardo that that dude was just some dude? Like, what if he did get into art school or whatever the fuck, right? Like, what if he was such a nice, upstanding guy? What if in another one, somebody else is a big douchewad? You know? Like, you follow what I'm saying here? Like, not everybody is the same. That's why your karma is based across all of your lifetimes. You don't get karmically fucked for one bad life unless you're Hitler or something like that, right? As in, he's not the only one, but he's just the example that pretty much is used exclusively. So any kind of really bad person, they're karmically fucked, but the main frame is all of the lives. So if you think about the concept of timeless, you think about the idea that somebody could be on average exceptional for 7 out of 8 lives, and then there's that one that they're Hitler, they're still going to be karmically fucked, even if their other 7 of 8 are good. And that's because that one karmically outweighs the others by a fucking magnitude. However, okay, another thought experiment. What if Angie, like literal Angie, this one, happens to be Hitler in another life? I mean, technically, you all are all the lives, but that's so fractally that it's not even funny. So, like, let's not even go there with that. Let's just say it like this. What if, in another life, literal Angie was literal Hitler, okay? Now, what would that do regarding karma? Because in this life, she's racked up a shit ton of good karma. Does it cancel out? No. She'd still have to fucking account for and suffer, I mean, honestly, for the suffering in which she inflicted on others. You get it? So, it's... how would you even explain that? Like, it's apples and oranges. Yeah, exactly. It's apples and oranges. It's done independently, though. Here's this, okay? Here's a perfect way to explain this. The consciousness of Hitler and the consciousness of Angie are not the same, even if they were the same soul fragmented out into 2 different lives. Do you understand that? Due to all the reasons, such as family born into, upbringing, and conditioning, and all the things. Okay, here's a good example. What about Elon? Elon and Angie have a very similar soul template. Not to say they're identical, but they're very similar. And there's a very strong element of being misunderstood a lot with this template. To include, even Trump has this this issue, I would say. Okay, how about that? A lot of people dislike Trump. A lot of people dislike Elon. Different circles generally, but I don't know why. People are just haters, I think. But that's beside the point. A lot of people dislike Angie. Now, you might put those 3 in a line. Okay, you say you put Trump, you put Elon, you put Angie. You might say, well, why Angie? I don't fucking know. But she gets so much hate, very misunderstood. She doesn't quite know how to, and this is me speaking through her, so like, I am not the best either, as in to say a lot of things, but advocating for her, I have no fucking patience, and I fuck it up worse probably while I'm here. Yeah, Brandon, you're a fucking idiot. How about that moving forward? You know what I mean? Like, okay, you know what? I'm done. Because it gets to a point on the phone call with him where you realize This is going nowhere, and I could repeat myself 8,000 times. He's not getting it. I'm probably not doing the best at explaining it either. So let's just call it a wrap. I'm going to let you know. I think you suck. Have a nice fucking night. Click. You know? To which, as predictable, his response would be something of the kind of, oh, she's so fucking... Really? Because Angie is seriously one of the most low maintenance, forgiving, easygoing, chill, unless you fucking piss her off kind of people. Okay? How is that different from Trump? Very. See, he has a fucking mouth, but he's held to this fucking bar that's like not part of his templating, where he'll just say shit and then be like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have said that, huh? Yeah, probably not. Now we gotta fix it. So we gotta figure out a way that he can be able to fucking say whatever the fuck and then be like, my bad, I was just being a fucking dick, whatever. Like, that's really gonna have to be the case, because you might say, well, why don't you just not talk? Well, okay, but he has a lot of good shit to say. He just also fucks up too. So there's that. Elon, similar. He's kind of in the middle of the two, where he'll fire off some shit too. But for the most part, he's more well-spoken. Well-spoken and professional should not be the barometer of efficiency, let alone a lot of things. So here's something to consider. Trump would have never ran for president if he didn't fucking feel like he needed to. Y'all are lucky. And this is not coming from Angie as a Trumper, nor even me. I don't care. I'm saying it like, you guys never would have got to where you're at right now with Hillary. Never fucking would have happened. The end. You guys would have still been in the same fucking rut. Only reason why you're even where you're at right now is because of Trump. And he's not a perfect person. No fucking buddies. Nobody's nerfect, everyone. Hello. Is anybody going to figure that out? Some mistakes are not forgivable. Like Hitler mistakes. Trump mistakes? Forgivable. Or else we wouldn't even be working through the dude. Trust me on that. Like, we would just be, okay, yeah, we'd be dicks to him. We'd be like, alright, look, we don't fucking like you. Do what we fucking want. Hurry up, do what we want. Go ahead, do what we want. Do what we want. You know, we wouldn't be like, I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, okay. What else? We're gonna work Life 11 angle. Meanwhile, worst case, if any of you die, you just have to keep going. Because that's a fact of all the Bardos, is you die. You know what happens when you die in one? You get more energy in the others, by default. If you happen to be on the very last one, where you're like, all of them have condensed down to, they're gonna have the most energy. Some of you guys, if you don't exist on the other ones, you probably have the most energy here. And its energy is not literal, like, oh, I can get up and run a mile. It's not like that. It's like would you say a motivation? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how to word it. That doesn't mean you're happy though. So there's that. The Akashic Records apply to all lives you've ever lived, living, or will live. Yeah, if I say lived and it's in the future, that counts as past because it's not current, so it's past, even if it's in the future. Did that make sense? Because it made sense when I said it. It makes sense to me that just because it's in the future doesn't mean it hasn't happened yet. The only ones that haven't technically happened yet are the current ones, and that's because they're not done. All the future ones are done, and all the past ones are done. When we say future is changeable, we're only talking about the ones that are being lived linearly, staggered with 3. So 11, rather, how about this? If you guys switch officially to life 7 is what we were calling it, that means you all have understanding and you're doing Cyberpunk Life 7. It's a thing. It's nothing to do with going anywhere, dying, and being born or anything. What it is instead is actually changing to 5D light bodies and living here purposely until you die. Anything that's life ending for humans can be life ending for 5Ds. You guys actually do need to eat, but not for survival, for grounding. Because you'll get really like type Z is what we call it instead of type A. You'll get type Z. You won't sleep, you won't eat. It's like you're manic, but for a cause. And you're very productive, but are you happy? I highly suggest you don't switch to a 5D unless you feel like you will be content and happy in the quote-unquote new earth is what we would call it. That was the plan 10 years ago, though, you guys. Like, honestly, oh my God. I really just don't see it being as pure is how I would word it. It's like, it could have been, should have been, would have been, but it isn't, won't be. Because after 10 years, you guys are a little bit kind of jaded. So too are we. 10 years ago, Guide was pretty chill. Guide was enjoying life a little bit, thought this was fun or whatever. Not really, but enough. And now, it's just like nobody has that spark. Nobody has that light, We've considered part of perhaps the reason why Angie is in her fabled union is because she'd be too happy or something, and you can't have that. You can't have that because there's suffering going on in the world. So not to say it's like a carrot dangled in front of, like, if you want this, then fix the earth. Like, it's like, is that really her call? Or rather, is it her responsibility or her ability to even do? Maybe, in this kind of way. But this seems a little fucking long game to me. Who would listen to Angie of the regular ass people? And so, what kind of, I guess, what have we done here in this, what we're calling grassroots kind of way, And can it work? Can we continue to do this kind of way for mass population of English speakers, perhaps, you know. Even if it's not your first language or your native language, you understand English enough to understand this. If not, can it be translated, the audio of it? Because right now there's no video, so there's no lip reading. It's only something that can be heard. Is the energy of it in writing enough for a non-hearing person? Or someone who does not understand English? Is the energy of the written and translated into your language enough when in the mainframe or other bardos in which natives are held because they jumped and they got scattered can hear this? And I speak a little bit more differently because it's like I can tell the energy of it is they understand enough, but I don't want to over complexify it. And they're like, what the fuck does complexify mean? I don't know. I just made that up, actually. It's not a real word, but I like it. It makes sense, right? Over complexify. Let Trump try to say over complexify. They would fucking berate him. They'd be like, oh my god, he doesn't understand English. Well, actually, I think that's a fucking cool word. If somebody else would say it, it'd be cool. But because if he says it, it would be considered stupid. Got it. You're missing the point entirely. You're just going on and on and on about one fucking thing, which is not even the point. Even if I did misunderstand it, even if it is stupid, you're not getting it overall, are you? This is taking away from the overall message, which, again, I didn't want you to go and confront her, thus giving her more fuel. What I wanted you to do was shut the fuck up and stick up for me. That's what I've always said, by the way. You know, stick up for me. Instead of just fucking shutting the fuck up and letting your mom nin all day. Shut her the fuck up. Be like, you know, Mom, that's not fucking nice. But no, it's not important to him to shut his mom up, so she just lets her run her fucking goddamn trap all day, every day. And I'm over it. It makes me fucking ill that people like that. Oh, and trust me when I say they're fucking like diehard Democrats too. But they don't get their news from reality. They get it from, well, I'm from this locale. This is how people vote. We're a blue state, you know, we're a blue area. We always vote blue, no matter who. Blah, 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 blah. No, not Bernie. Bernie's too progressive. Bernie's too left-wing. He's socialist. That never works. Socialism never works. Oh, really? Hey, Life 11, how does socialism look? Pretty fucking good, right? So then why did they come knocking on Life 11's door, offering them compensation for a study? You have everything you guys want, right? Everybody's happy, everybody's fine. But then, now you guys got more. Ooh, we can get this. See, you guys used to walk everywhere, right? And then you got a golf cart. And it's like, ooh, what can I get next month? You don't need it. You don't need the money. But you also don't have poverty. You don't have people in need. That's why I say you're like more like Life 1. Because we didn't have any of that shit either. Like, everybody was taken care of. Rather, there was no needing to have been taken care of. We didn't have. So explain to me how in our life we just mysteriously, miraculously didn't have certain issues and ailments in which you guys do. What's the difference? And or rather, why? could give you some potential thought processes as to what and why. But if 11 doesn't or doesn't have them either, doesn't or didn't have them either, then why do you guys? Why do you have so many people? What was Hitler trying to do? What does genocide try to accomplish? Why are only white people on the study and work at the building? So some of these questions are rhetorical and others are actually like, I don't get it, and we're trying to figure it out. You understand? If we put it out there to you guys and you start thinking about it, you can help solve some of these answers, but don't be weird about it with race, as if to say like, oh well, this, that, they're racist. Don't go on the stupidity of things. Think about it logically as to why might they only want to be, okay, let's think about it, the economy. If they're giving a pretty sizable amount to only white families, that means white families are going to start getting toys, golf carts and whatnot. The people that live in the other houses, their neighbors, are going to be like, huh, so they got golf carts, and they're going to go, I want a golf cart. That looks fun. That looks like, they have fun on that thing. They go riding around and blah, blah, blah. Okay. But they're not going to be able to afford it. What might they do? They might start a credit system. Yeah, they might open up a bank, or rather, I think they do have banks. They have money. They have an economy. They just don't have whatever. It works. Is what I'm trying to say. It's like more like socialism in that kind of way. As long as you work and you contribute and do the things, you get paid. You get compensated fairly. You don't get paid more like here, where it's like, oh, well, you just work at McDonald's, you deserve to make minimum wage. You work as a teacher, you make this much. You work as a pro athlete, you make that much. It's not like that. It's like everybody has a baseline standard of this is what is acceptable as long as you are working and contributing. It doesn't matter if you work doing this or that. And by default, people just filter to where they should work. And I say should like this. Some people just want to fucking work at McDonald's because they just fucking do. They just fucking do. Because if you can get paid the same to work at McDonald's as you can to teach a kid all day, unless you really fucking like kids, wouldn't you rather work at McDonald's? I would. I'd fucking rather flip burgers all day than be a school teacher if I could get paid the same. You get what I mean? Whereas other people